Hey everybody, what's going on? GameChanger77 here, and welcome back to another NeverCraft video. And in this video, I am going to be building an absolutely insane bamboo farm and a super smelter to cook up all of the rotten flesh and golden swords that I get from this gold farm. It's gonna be sweet, and I hope you enjoy. So, the issue that I have with this now is that this happens. So, you see, I have this bamboo farm, and it's fairly big, and then you get to the point where you can barely cook up an item because it only gives 1 or 2 pieces of bamboo to the furnace at a time. See, it only give it 1 there, and then it can't cook up anything. And that's after a bunch of problems I already had with the furnaces, or not the furnaces, the hopper minecarts, with dropping off the bamboo to begin with. And it sucks when you can't cook up any food or any items, so yeah, I need to do something about this. So, it turns out when you throw an item off of this Y, and it falls all the way down to bedrock, it is still loaded in. So what I need to do is figure out if redstone components will still work from that range. So I basically need to take a hopper and go really high up in the air, or like basically here, you know, and then drop the hopper, or drop an item directly onto the hopper and see if it actually goes in. So if I just put a hopper there, let's put a hopper there in case the item drifts. But now if I come up over here, and I can try and throw this item on, I really hope it works, because if not, all of my plans will be ruined. So I just come here and I throw an item down. Just for the sake of the experiment, I'm going to throw some more items down, in case one of them, or like in case they're like off. Alright, so now just wait a little bit. Also, one issue that I have with this farm is that currently all of the leather that gets cooked up is just overflow. It's not actually meant to be cooked up, but my storage system just dumps rotten flesh into lava that's right there, and yeah, instead of cooking it. So I want to be able to cook it to get a ton of leather. They have. Pretty sure that worked. So now basically what I can do is where the items get collected from the piglins, where they get collected all the way up there, I can just have an item dropper system to just shoot them down huge tubes down to here, and then like I guess like 20 blocks above bedrock or whatever, and then from there I can just make a huge storage system and a smelter and a bamboo farm and another storage system for the cooked products. So that's gonna be fun. So yeah, so I have been doing some work here, and I have the super smelter cleared out to make room for the dropping system to just shoot all the swords and rotten flesh down to the bottom, and then I just kind of cap that off with a shulker box to collect the bamboo as it comes in, because this bamboo farm is still operational, although this here will be taken out because the pigmen can get inside of it, as you can see. So I just need to have this glass tube extend all the way down. Actually, I'll probably start down there and build it up. I also take out the storage for the rotten flesh, so all the rotten flesh will just continue through this system into the gold sword area and also get taken out down the chute, because then I can just cook up all the rotten flesh into leather and cook up all the swords into golden nuggets. So right now I'm just working on the redstone for the thingamajig. That way you can do the thingamajig things. So yeah, that's cool and all. Okay, so for this observer dropping system, all you have to do is take a comparator output from this dropper right here. It'll go into the redstone dust into the repeater, which will then power the piston, which will push the observer underneath of this observer, and the face of this one is going down, the face of this one is going up. You can probably tell that. And that does the little observer clock thing where they just like activate each other. And then this observer is looking at this one, so every time this one gets updated from their constant clock, it will power this dispenser, and so it'll just flash back and forth, and yeah, life goes on and everything is happy. Also, you might notice that this here looks similar to that, because it is basically this, but with a piston and a repeater, or not repeater, the piston and the observer just down one block, but everything else works fine. And as you can see, it does pretty much the exact same thing. The tube is now in place, and I must say it's looking pretty nice. So the reason why I built it like up off the ground is so that way I can have room for everything I need to make without having to have this bedrock get in the way. Ah, shoot. Alright, so I have this row of 10 chests here. I'm thinking 4 of them will be for the gold nuggets, 1 of them for the gold ingots, since you barely get any of those by like themselves from the piglins, and then the other 5 will be for leather after it's been cooked up, of course. As you can see, there's only 2 rows because this takes an absolute ton of chests. Just think, there's a chest for every place that there's a chest, obviously. And then there's a chest every single place there's a hopper too. Yeah, a lot of chests. So now I just need to make this chest that's hanging off the end, right there. I need to make that extend into the super smelter region. And then after I build a super smelter, I can work on the bamboo farm. And I'm telling you, that bamboo farm is going to be absolutely massive. Okay, so 2 things happened. First off, I remembered I needed an 11th slot for the piglin heads because we get those because of a data pack on the NeverCraft server. And second, I remembered that I need to put in the redstone for the sorting system. That way it, actually sorts. Right now it's basically just a big storage silo. Storage system things like this, I've noticed it's helpful to lay the wall out like this first. That way you can easily access everything from the top without having to try and get underneath. Now the only thing that you will need to access from underneath is the torch area. And like, I suppose you could just not have this part here, then you could just kind of reach around, but that part's just too annoying most of the time. But then you can just add in your repeaters and your wool on top of it. And it just makes things a lot easier. So pro tip, yeah. Ta-da! So these should all work now, which means, or like the redstone at least should work. So I can add in the items, so I'll just go get some placeholder blocks. Oh shoot, how did I fall off? I was in my inventory. Alright, well, I'll go name some blocks. So I have my placement items in here, so I can just, do what it says, sub to game changer 77, and then just place those in there like that. I can also even break this down, put in the nuggets. In fact, I can probably add in the full amount, which would be 41, and then do that for each of these. So if I just put these into this hopper, they will filter out into there very slowly. And then I believe this one is the one with the leather, and as you can see, it's going up and down. So if I just kind of inch over here, it is filling up. Good. That means that it's not going into these other ones. And if I get a stack, oh dear, that probably is working fine. Yeah, let's go with that. Alright, so I've had an idea for this, aka what goes on to be the super smelter, and I'm going to add like a buffer area. So basically there'll be a series of chests that lead into each other like that. So the general idea is that the rotten flesh and swords, well, like golden swords, not rotten flesh swords. Okay. They'll just get put into here, and then if the super smelter stops working, then this here will just slowly fill up until, until it doesn't work anymore. And then I want to add some sort of like drop-off systems. Basically, I want it, if this gets full and the items just keep on going past here, then I want this to empty itself. That way, it doesn't clog up everything and cause it to stop working. Because if that happens, then all the items are just going to be sitting on this hopper eventually, and there's going to be like a ton of items there. Gold and rotten flesh and golden swords and pigment heads and all of that. And that would not be very good. So hopefully I can not have that happen. But before I do that, I need to go and collect a bunch of wood because, man, this goes through chests like crazy. Also, I don't have any more iron, so I need to go to Blue Cool's house, so that way I can steal some of his. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, let me clarify something here. I am not stealing his iron. I am taking it with his permission. He said that I could use his iron for my hoppers, so that is why I'm going to his house and taking it. Okay, so I am here at Blue's iron farm. It's just a miniature one. We have not built the huge one yet. And I took 5 stacks of iron, which isn't really all that much compared to how much he has. And I left him a little present while I was at it. So I mean, that's probably worth like 12 stacks right there. Those 5 pieces of bamboo, specially named by me. So yeah, I'll just pack up and head home. So on my way back from Blue Cool 97's base, I was trying to make it less of a hassle to get from the little tunnel to his portal, and then this piglin comes by and kills me because he got in the same 1x1 hole as me. And then yeah, I tried to get back and get my stuff and it didn't work, and so on and so forth. Eventually I finally did it, but everything despawned from multiple times. So the only things I have left are my elytra pants and boots. So as you can probably tell, I was absolutely devastated that I lost a lot of really good stuff, but the video must go on, so I had to move on with the build. So I have made this little system, so when this chest gets full enough, it will output a redstone signal to these rails, so that way the minecart bounces back and forth. And then I just add in the traditional super smelter and hopper stuff, so that's nice.
One eternity later.
Alright, so every good super smelter needs a farm or a fuel source. So, the obvious choice being the bamboo farm, I built a mega bamboo farm. And it was a long and dreary process, so I didn't include it in the video. But each one of these rows is 32 wide, or long, I guess, and then 2 wide, so 64 pieces of bamboo in each. There are like 6 of these, I think. Yeah, and this farm produces a lot of bamboo, and it is going to be very nice. But guys, that is all for this video. If you did enjoy, then please leave a like and subscribe for more awesome content like this, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.